Hello everyone, welcome to the second session of setting up of indoor early learning environment. In the previous session, we learned about the concept of learning environment as well as the concept of indoor learning environment and its importance, the need for setting up of indoor learning environment for holistic development of children, as well as the session highlighted upon how to use the available resources and also play areas, arrangement of play areas, and some of the tips were also discussed to design a stimulating indoor play area. Now, in this section, we will learn about few more considerations to set up an indoor learning environment. At the end of the session, the learning outcomes would be again reviewing the resources available and how to use them to set up a stimulating indoor learning environment and analyze the indoor setup to make it beneficial in engaging children to learn and develop holistically. The caregivers too need space for the activities that they have to do for children. The caregiving activities such as eating and feeding, sleep and rest, toileting, cleaning, changing of clothes, along with welcoming and see off every day. These activities need various equipments like tables, chairs, racks for storage, sink, etc. These caregiving areas also gives learning experience to the children as it promotes self-help skills. For instance, a child can bring his own clothes from the racks by identifying that these clothes belong to me or they are mine, and children who can eat by themselves develop fine motor skills. Children who can climb the chair and table develop gross motor skills. Washing their hands in sink groom the children for an accustomed activity for habit formation. Hence, when planning the caregiving area, it is important to ensure that the area is safe, stimulating to learn, and clean for a healthy growth and development of children. It is well understood that children during their early childhood years learn through exploration, investigation, interaction, and imitation. Group activities are one such experience for growing children to groom their abilities to explore, investigate, interact, and imitate, as well as preparing them for learning to live with community, and it is the influential step towards socialization. For example, a brief session for group activities will make children to share their thoughts and ideas as well as learn from others. Group activities even help children in their motor skills where they imitate each other by making actions in songs, rhymes, etc. Group activities make children aware of different languages, words, sounds, etc. Hence, making a space for exclusively for group activity in indoor learning environment will expose children to vast experience, and planning the indoor space in such a way that it reduces the disturbance, disruption and diversion for the group activities and can aid in making the most of it. Thus, it is all about having sufficient area for all the children to come together as a group at ease, so that the children can have a larger group experience. It is a natural human tendency that everybody needs a quiet time to be on their own self. Being with people continuously will be exhausting emotionally, and it is true in case of children in early childhood years, as they are in the process of emotional development and they would not be in a position to control their emotions and calm down. Therefore, it is important to provide a space for privacy to take some time off from the group. So there is a need for the space. For example, a corner with a bed, pillow, or a corner with soft toys, or book corner, or a quiet playtime in a space privately, which would help children to calm down. This space will help children to learn emotional regulation. These private areas or spaces can be designed by creating nooks and corners with pure fabrics, ensuring visibility to monitor the child's safety. It is well known that early childhood classrooms requires many materials of various kinds. For example, toys to play like vehicles, fruits, vegetables, animals, birds, houses, game equipments like puzzle, abacus, snake and ladder, books and materials for reading and writing like slate, picture books and other resources for first-hand experience that are habitually in and out of active use. Along with these materials, children's assessment equipments and art and creative work too require storage and display area, keeping in mind all the above mentioned materials and equipments. Dodge et al. In 2010 explains about 3 types of storage areas, namely open storage, closed storage, storage for personal belongings. Open storage. Open storage enables convenience and is easy for access. The materials that are in active use are stored in open storage. The shelves should be labeled as per the materials placed for trouble-free accessibility. The open storage can also be for children to access. Closed storage. Closed storage is for teachers or facilitators' materials. The important aspect in closed storage is to maintain records, registers, accounts, office supplies, stock, etc. Also, it is very useful in storing cleaning materials like detergents, lotions and other fluids so that they are out of reach of children. Thus, closed storage ensures children's safety. Likewise, cooking utensils and ingredients should be stored securely in closed storage. Hence, closed storage ensures safety and security. Personal storage. Personal storage area is a space for storing personal belongings of children as well as teachers or facilitators and other personnel. This personal storage should be labeled with pictures and words. For instance, a child will identify his storage area with his picture in that particular space or the first 2 alphabets of the child's name to be written and pasted, which will help the child to identify his or her space. These personal storage spaces allow children to easily access their stuff like their clothes, blankets, shoes, gloves, socks, towels, napkins, bags, etc. And most importantly, this storage space gives a sense of belonging to the child with the center, and it also helps in the routine of dropping and picking up of children. This personal storage area gives a sense of autonomy also to the children since they themselves access the space. Similarly, for the teachers, facilitators and other personnel can store their stuffs or things so that they are out of reach of children. Their objects like handbags, purses and items that are considered to be unsafe for children such as medicines, mobile phones, makeup materials can be stored and kept safe. Display. Displaying children's art and creative activities and their other works, portfolios, makes children happy and encourages children to value their work and in turn motivates them to perform and do their tasks more efficiently and effectively. Displaying tells children that their individuality is identified and their work, tasks and ideas are appreciated and valued. This sense will help the facilitator to make a path to access and easily record the child's development and progress. Thus, space and furnishing plays a critical part for organizing indoor learning environment successfully. In this section, we have discussed about 5 important areas like caregiving area, area for group activities, areas for quiet time, areas for storage and display, and also indoor setup and how those areas can be used as to make it beneficial in engaging children to learn and develop holistically. Thank you.